St. John the Baptist Catholic Church was founded in 1875. The church building was erected 25 years later in 1900. Local sheep ranchers John O'Kane and John G. Taylor chose the name of the church. St. John sits in the heart of Lovelock, Nevada. Lovelock is a small rural community in Pershing County, just under 100 miles northeast of Reno and about 75 miles from Winnemucca. During the mid-1800s, travelers on the California Emigrant Trail called this valley Big Meadows. Mining soon began, and the railroad came through in 1869. When the area became its own county in 1919, a grand courthouse was commissioned. Today, it is known to be the only round courthouse that is still in use anywhere in the USA. Adorned with strong oak railings and historic wooden seats, the rotunda mimics a beautiful cloudy sky above, while justice is preserved below. Then, as now, agriculture was a driving force of the community. In the early days, many immigrants from Europe came to the valley and called it home. Most notably, the Azores Islands off the coast of Portugal.
My husband's grandfather came over in the early 1900s and worked in sheep herding, and on my husband's side of the family, it was all agriculture, sheep herding and cattle. And then went back to the Azores Islands and married, his betrothed that was there, and then they came back over here.
My grandfather came from the Azores around 1900. I'm not sure just what year that was. He went to work almost immediately for John G. Taylor, which was the sheep king of Nevada at the time. He became the sheep boss for John G. Taylor. He had a good job and didn't have a lot of ways to spend his money, so he would buy a little farm here and a little farm there. He ended up with 3 different farms, and he started a grocery store, which was called the Azores. That was down on by the railroad tracks down there, and he had that for years. And he grew almost everything he sold in the store. You know, he had sheep and pigs and cows, and he had one of his farms, the one that Tanette has. All his job was to grow vegetables. He had a huge vegetable farm. I forgot that what really made him go was when he went back to the Azores and got Maria, and married her, brought her back to Lovelock. And
I don't mean to interrupt Roger either, but I do remember reading where Tom's grandfather, Manuel Morera, and your grandfather, right? Yeah. And they both worked for John G. Taylor, tending the sheep, and the interconnection, because they were both from the Azores Islands. So yeah.
Wasn't John G. Taylor the one that gave the land to the church? A Catholic church?
Yes.
Not only the church, but almost all of this part of Lovelock. All of the schools were on John G. Taylor's property.
My dad came to America in 1913 from Switzerland, and he went to Modesto, California, that area, and he milked cows for 2 years. The first year that he worked here in 1915, they came in October of 1915, and when they came with those string of cattle by train, they had to stop in the morning, stop in the evening, and they had to milk the cows, take them off the train and milk the cows. And it took them 2 days to come from Modesto to Lovelock.
My grandfather came here because a lot of Italians came to work for the railroad. So that's how they came. And then my father came from California like the age of 17 and just started working in the mines around here, around the valley. And so then that's how they both ended up in Lovelock. I was born here, went away to college, and then ended up coming back and marrying someone here, Tom Mora. But on his side of the family, they were all Portuguese, and they came from the Azores Islands.
Yeah, John always said that he was proud that there were 5 generations, starting with Grandma and Grandpa and all of them.
forward, yeah.
5 generations of us
Yeah.
received our sacraments, all of our sacraments with the church, and were particularly baptized and married there.
Yes.
So that's 5 generations and still staying in Lovelock. So
Yeah.
Beginning in 1875, priests from Reno joined a missionary priest to celebrate Mass in Lovelock several times a year. Prominent ladies of the community ran fundraisers to build a church building, such as a Christmas fair and a campaign ball. Finally, on November 24, 1900, Father Charles Burns from St. Paul's in Winnemucca celebrated the first Mass at St. John's brand new church. In 1911, St. John's received its first full-time priest when Father Enright was appointed pastor. Updating efforts by Father William Devlin in the 1930s led to the installation of these beautiful stained glass windows. Starting on our left, we see the angel declaring to Mary that Jesus is risen. Next, we see the triumphant Jesus carrying his banner Ecce Agnus Dei, meaning, "Behold the Lamb of God." Moving towards the sanctuary at the front of the church, we see Saint Thérèse of Lisieux, also known as the Little Flower. Standing just inside the sanctuary is a statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe, patroness of the Americas. Just on the other side, we see the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Opposite of Mary, to the right of the altar, we see the Sacred Heart of Jesus. One window closer is the Blessed Virgin Mary with the infant Jesus. Next, we see Saint Anthony of Padua, holding the child Jesus in his arms. Finally, we can celebrate the Annunciation with this depiction of Mary with lilies. During the war years of the middle 20th century, the front of the church featured only the door and several arched windows. Here we see the steps leading to the wooden doors in 1945. We also see the parents of Virginia Rose, John Aufdemar and his wife Carolyn. Holding the baby is Manuel Mura, and next to him is his wife Virginia, parents of the baby Tommy Mura, who would later become Darlene Mura's husband. Presiding over the baptism was Father O'Mara. The 3 stained glass windows and the front porch we see today were installed 2 years later in 1947 when Father John Durocher led a remodeling effort that added these elements.
The 3 windows on the top, on the front, are my grandmother and grandfather.
1948-49.
Is that when those went up? And then
50.
different families
He-
wanted to donate for that.
Yes.
So that's the names under each one of the
Yes,
stations.
they wanted, and they all put their, like your parents' grandmother's names on there.
I remember going to catechism in the sacristy
Yes.
with the
The
nuns from
yeah.
Winnemucca.
When I was there, they came from Winnemucca every
Yes.
Saturday, 10 o'clock.
yeah,
And that we didn't have a hall, so some of us were, I remember being upstairs and each part of the sacristy
Yeah.
and in the main part of the church. Yeah.
They used to pick our family up, the
nuns when they come from
they'd
Winnemucca?
pick up Winnemucca, pick us up, bring us there to catechism, and we'd go home. My mother always gave me 2 or 3 gallons of milk and 4 dozen eggs.
Oh,
That was their
yeah.
That was
their
her
payment. That was their payment. Didn't your dad? I remember when we were in high school. We had Mrs. Sullivan, Ruth Sullivan, and Vernon Stoker on the drums, and your dad
know where you're
played
going
the
with that, yeah.
saxophone.
Yeah.
And we had over at the campfire hut, we had dances every Friday or Saturday night.
Who were the
Can't
Lovelock band, weren't they?
Yeah.
Hey, the Lovelock band, they played every Saturday night at the hut.
My dad was quite a saxophone player. In them days, they had competitions for music, and he won the state saxophone championship playing "The Flight of the Bumblebee."
Oh, my.
On a saxophone, which is
That's
not
difficult.
too easy
Yeah.
to do. So the championship was in Elko. They came back on the train, and half the Lovelock
Showed
met
up,
him
huh?
at the. He wasn't
Great
the only one.
accomplishment, yeah.
When my dad was a teenager, he was 16, 17 years old, still had his own band
Really?
that he would play for the bars on the weekends. In them days, you could get away with that. And he would work from sunup till sundown in the Star Ranch and get $1.
Wow.
And then come to Lovelock on the weekends and play at one of these bars, you know, the old Oasis or something like that, and make $12 or something like that.
More than they made all day, huh?
That's why he didn't like the herding sheep and this kind of thing. So for me, Lovelock was probably the best place in the world to grow up.
I think so.
It was a fantastic town.
Because everybody looked after everybody.
Yes.
Everybody knew everybody.
From its founding in 1875 to today, St. John the Baptist Catholic Church continues to stand as a place of faith and community, where generations have gathered to worship, celebrate, and find strength.